Rise for the pledge of allegiance. The pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Feldman.
Present.
Glasser.
Present.
Miller.
Present.
Schneider.
Present.
Powell.
Present.
Steffler.
Present.
And Dyke.
Present. Approval of the agenda. We have two agenda item additions. Communications, we're going to add Dave Richardson is going to give a presentation as for his judgeship, candidacy for judgeship, and the regular agenda negotiating. Do we have any other additions or deletions to tonight's agenda? Bless you. Now I'll ask for a motion to approve the agenda as presented with the addendums.
So moved.
Support. Motion by Council Members Feldman, supported by Council Member Schneider to approve the agenda with the addendums as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Communications, Mr. Richardson, would you like to come up and give your spiel?
Good evening.
Evening.
My name is David Richardson, and I am a candidate for the District Court Judge in Lapeer County, which covers the entire county of Lapeer. And I'd rather be here talking to you about the Tigers, about the Pistons, about my grandkids. One of the last things I want to do is talk about myself, but unfortunately that's kind of the goes of the territory. Just to give you a little bit of understanding, the District Court Judge deals with a variety of matters. A good portion of the docket deals with criminal matters. All criminal cases start in the district court. Felonies will then move on to the circuit court. Misdemeanors would remain in the district court. Traditionally, the district court also deals with landlord-tenant matters and also general civil matters up to a jurisdictional limitation. And sometimes when you have village ordinances, et cetera, that are enforced, those would also usually be in the district court under their jurisdiction. I grew up in Jackson County. I grew up in a working class family. I tell people that I married into Lapeer County and into North Branch when I married Julie Heron, who were fixtures, or family are fixtures in the North Branch area. I maintain my humility. I've gone from dad jokes now to papa jokes. I have 9 grandchildren and 2 daughters. I have been very involved in the community, especially in North Branch and then also in Lapeer. Coached at a variety of levels, starting with Bumblebee soccer on up to varsity baseball and softball. Very involved in my church community, North Branch Wesleyan Church, where I serve as the vice chair, and I've been on that board for a number of decades now. Professionally, I've been in practice for 40 years, general practice here in Lapeer, in the city of Lapeer, and I practice in the areas that come before the district court. So I have experience in the matters that I will be dealing with as a judge. I also would just indicate that I did run as a write-in candidate against a longtime incumbent circuit court judge 10 years ago, even though it was a short window of time to run, and I had to educate people not only on who I was, but how to do the write-in process. I garnered approximately 22% of the vote that was cast for that position. I am constantly in the courts. I am usually in the courts multiple times per day. I also practice in adjoining counties, so I see how the courts operate in other counties as well. I operate from a Christian biblical worldview. That means that I believe that men are created in the image of God and should be treated with dignity and respect. So people that come into my courtroom will be treated with dignity and respect. Now, sometimes that image gets a little distorted by people's choices and the actions that they take, and there have to be consequences for those actions. And I will certainly be able to mete out justice as is necessary in matters that come before me. I would also indicate that when we're dealing with people in courts, we're dealing with people in crisis. Not only the litigants, the people themselves that are involved in cases, but usually you've got a spouse involved, children involved, family members involved. And again, we need to be mindful of the repercussions of the way that we treat people in the court system. We have victims coming into the court, we have police officers, attorneys, and everyone is entitled to be treated with respect. So I believe that I possess the temperament necessary. I'm a person who believes in problem solving, and that will be the approach that I will take in the position as district court judge. So I do solicit support in this area. People, if I have word of mouth, that is as good as 10 times worth any kind of advertising or any other public relations that I could do. So again, thank you for the time, for the opportunity to introduce myself. Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. I appreciate your time. Moving on to the consent agenda, regular meeting minutes, April 21st, 2026.
Do have a few corrections. For under the regular agenda, we have 2 number 1s. They should actually be reversed because we did them out of order, unfortunately. So I believe we dealt with the homecoming committee resignation first. So that should be the actual number 1. Zoning ordinance should actually be number 2 because we did them out of order. And for the homecoming committee, it was President Pro Tem Steffler that moved. Councilmember Feldman was the second for that. And then just some corrections to the second sentence there. It should read, council previously received an application for the position of secretary, and then add on to the end of it, but could not consider it at that time because the position was not open at that moment. And then for the second sentence, council asked, insert the word the village manager, to reach out and have the applicant resubmit the request. And then under council manager comment, just 2 minor corrections to the paragraph from President Dyke. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. The beginning of the 4th sentence, it starts off with "we met." We need to keep the grammar correct. So if we could change that to President Dyke indicated that the village's negotiating team met with. And then the very beginning of the next sentence, instead of saying our negotiating, can we say the village's negotiating team? And that's all my corrections.
Anybody else?
Under my comments, I wanted to ask about the last sentence. It's plus the homecoming committee will have an application for a new secretary to the village council for the next meeting. That meant
So I think that's a carryover from what I was just correcting up above, where we said we want them to resubmit their application, and somehow that got tacked on to your comment. I did not recall you saying that. I was going to let you correct that if it was.
Okay.
I agree with you. I don't think you brought that up.
I don't think that I did. So.
Sorry. Go ahead.
So yeah, I would just strike that from my comments there. And I think also just a correction, it says DDA is helping the park board to organize public participation. The DDA organized the Earth Day cleanup event. So you participated. So just wanted to clarify that.
That reminds me, it says 2 sentences before the one that you just struck. An application should be submitted to the clerk for the open village committee position. It's for the village citizen position.
Citizen, yeah.
It's citizen, because it's not, it's the park board, and it's just we get a village citizen per the ordinance.
Anybody else on meeting minutes? General fund. Payroll report, or payroll report. Nobody has any other comments? I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Schneider, supported by Councilmember Miller to approve the consent agenda with the added changes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Now is the time for public comment on any agenda item. What's that?
Agenda item, you're right.
Agenda item. Do we have any public comment tonight? Being none, regular agenda item number 1, the negotiating committee. So we were talking about it in our workshop. We are working on a date for the joint meeting with the township and the village in regards to the police contract. Myself and Manager Curbison had initially started the negotiating with the township. They had added a member from there. So as president, I had added Mr. Schneider to a couple of the negotiations only for the fact that he provided us with some helpful accounting data along with Randy in the negotiations. So talks are ongoing with the township, and I would like to formalize that the three of us in a consensus or a motion be given the allowance to continue negotiations until the joint meeting date to see if we can come to a agreement with the township.
And do we have a set date, or is that still tentative at this point?
It's tentative at this point.
And we're looking at
The 21st of this month.
But I think it is beneficial for the two sides to continue talks and negotiations. Earlier this evening, we had our budget workshop where we were able to ask our own questions about the budget that's been presented, dig a little deeper into what those numbers are. That was really helpful for me as a council person. I stated this at the township meeting. I do think it's best for us to have one police department as a community, and express my wish that we continue those talks and come to an agreement. And I think having a committee is still part of that process. Hopeful that we can come to an agreement.
So do we have a motion to?
Motion, or do you want consensus?
Up to you guys.
Probably a motion.
Probably a motion.
I'll make the motion to continue negotiations with the township between the two negotiating committees up until an agreed joint session if necessary.
Do you want to name those members?
Sure. President Dyke, Manager Criberson, and Mr. Schneider.
Do you have support? Motion by Councilman Feldman, supported by Councilman Glasser to allow the negotiating team of President Dyke, Councilmember Schneider, and Manager Curbison to continue talks with the Township Committee in regards to the police contract up and until the joint meeting is held if necessary. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. That concludes tonight's regular agenda. Now is the time for public comment on any non-agenda items. Do we have any public comment tonight on any non-agenda items? Before we start public comment, it's 3 minutes. I will ask the audience to be respectful for people speaking and not interrupting, and I will ask the speakers to state their name, their residence, and also speak in a respectful tone.
Good evening. My name is Maureen Flanagan Saleko. I'm a resident of Hadley Township. I am the other candidate for district court judge.
Oh,
What are the chances? As Mr. Richardson and I agree, spoke about this.
Let me rephrase the rules for.
Okay.
Since you are not under communications and you're doing the same thing he did,
Okay.
I give you free reign to speak as long as it's not till 10 o'clock.
Okay, no. It's pretty short, thank you. I've been a Lapeer County resident for 30 years where I reside in Hadley Township with my husband, John. We have raised our 3 sons here. I've been a practicing attorney for 20 years. I began my practice as private practice where I handled primarily criminal law and family law. I am a former prosecutor. I was in St. Clair County. For the past 6 years, I have been the district court magistrate, where I currently hear criminal cases. They begin with me, whether it starts with a search warrant, arrest warrant, or I handle the arraignments where I set bond. I also handle several cases currently where I handle small claims. I also am I'm the trial court now administrator. I've added more jobs, which allows me to understand both sides of the court. I think that is important. It gives me the understanding of not just what has to be covered under the law, but what we need under the administration part of this. Prior to that, I was also the probate registrar and juvenile referee, so I have 10 years experience on the bench currently. I believe I am the best candidate for this position. I am honored to be endorsed by Judge Barnard, Judge Nolan, Judge Hodges, Judge McCarthy, and retired Judge Scott. If anyone has any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
And present. Do we have any other public comment for any non-agenda items tonight? Being none, that concludes. Sorry. Didn't see him.
Rick Dodge, Elmont Township. Just want to say that I'm looking forward to negotiating with you guys on the police contract. It is our desire to continue with Elmont PD. Again, it boils down to dollars and cents. It really doesn't have anything to do with the police department. We've been very happy with the service, the officers, the SRO, all of that. With that being said, I heard the date of the 21st being thrown out. I am not available for the 21st, so that can be taken.
We sent our response to Gary, and
Okay.
it's working back and forth.
Yep, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay.
So,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other public comment tonight on any non-agenda item?
Good evening. My name is Jason Theoret. I live at 4740 Holland Road. I've spoken to this gentleman once, gave him some paperwork. I've spoken to Mr. Grossbeck multiple times. I was at the township meeting last week. I think it was last week or the week before. So I've been in my house for about 4.5 years now. I've had my property flooded 3 times now in 4.5 years. I'm trying to figure out what I need to do to try to get this flooding taken care of. I am a township resident, but I was told this is a village matter. So I was told I have to do this publicly at a village meeting. So I walked over here real quick since I live right next door, since I seen public comment. And I wanted to bring this up to everybody because I know that the city township officers have flooded with my property. The road's flooded out front, Howland Main Street, however you would like to say that. I've been in touch with the DPW multiple times, water department. I can't get anywhere with anybody. I've had the Lapeer County Drain Commissioner out to my house. I just called him again about a month ago when it poured here and it rained and it flooded again. And he says you have to do it publicly. You have to do it at a village meeting. So here I am. I'd like to state my case to figure out how I can maybe not get my property to flood and maybe stay here longer in Elmont than moving than I want to, so. So I'm not too sure how this works. I've approached, like I said, multiple people. I still can't get an answer out of anybody for anything, so.
We'll speak to David and see where the jurisdiction lies.
Do you need a name, phone number, anything from me? So,
If you want to.
I gave everything to Mr. Grossbeck, so I mean, if you want to get it from him, he has it. So, but he told me he was going to take a look at watch the drains around here, but the drain across the street from my house still stays plugged all the time, so I have to go over there and actually do my neighbor's job to keep that drain cleared, so. I keep mine cleared, I keep it trimmed, I keep it cleared, everything else, so yes.
You can give me your name and number.
All
We'll
right,
pass it on to Mr. Curbison. You can come up and give me your name. and
okay.
You can just write it right here. Okay. I'll pass it to Mr. Curbison and then we'll see if it lies within the village jurisdiction.
Okay.
Thank you. Anybody else tonight on public comment for any non-agenda items? Being none, we'll move on to council member comment before going into closed session. Manager Curbison, do you have anything to bring to council?
Yes, I have a few items on my list. I wanted to let you know that it was brought to my attention that there was a class being offered for drones, and it was specifically related to law enforcement. So I reserved 2 spots for our up to 2 of our law enforcement officers, and the class comes with the training and the drone at the end of the class. So if it moves forward, we should have 2 individuals trained on that and have a drone for our use. I've been talking with DTE on and off over a year regarding the substation, the old substation on the corner of Kinner and St. Clair. Several different items with that chunk of property that we have issues with the fact that they didn't install the sidewalk, which they have committed to do, and they told me today it should be done this summer. The decommissioning of the building, it was discussed, and I floated that we might be interested in retaining the building and using it for a public facility if in fact the council were so inclined, as the walking path and all the activity that we get in that area. It might be a nice feature for us to have, but of course it would be, a council motion and moved and supported to take it with a detailed agreement. And then the third thing is we've been having an issue with reliability on June Drive, specifically at our lift station. So I have talked to the DTE engineer who is in the process of doing a reliability study on the area to figure out why we keep losing power and or a leg of our 3-phase that services the lift station. So lots of things going on in that area. Had a meeting with the lock shop owner. As you know, the DDA has acquired the building next door and was looking to potentially demo. So I've discussed that with him. He has no interest in selling his property, but he in fact is perfectly comfortable with the DDA removing the building and leaving the edges or sides of his building exposed. So I wanted you to know I have in fact talked to him, and the activity of him restoring the dangerous building there, the lock shop with its caved in roof, and then he is having the facility on Black Court removed according to him. So all that has been put in play and it's moving forward. We had our land surveyed in the area directly east of the gas Becker lot and the building. The survey was done last week. It will be staked sometime this week officially. They had to do a little more research, so then we can meet and discuss anything we'd like to do with that section of parking in the parking lots. We've had complaints from individuals regarding the lack of handicap parking spots downtown. So I have MDOT coming in to do a review of 53. They would have been the ones that identified where the spots would go. And they haven't done that, so now we've got them coming back to take a look at it and help us out. One of the things we've been having a problem with, again, it's because of that to June Drive power situation, is we've been looking at the generator, backup generators for the wastewater treatment plant. They have not been regularly maintained or put on a maintenance contract. So 2 weeks ago, that officially has happened. They've been reviewed. The company will be doing, they did a detailed review of each unit, and then they'll be coming in to bring them up to snuff and do a few more improvements to them to make them more rodent proof and that sort of thing. So you'll see that kind of activity all over town. There's 6 of those. We're working with Kingsbrook. As you know, they've had a payment issue over many, many years. They are current, and we are working with them on a monthly payment plan so that they can stay current and not have to be pursued for late fees or any of those type of things. So we've developed a plan. It's in the hands of their finance officer, and they want to talk to me about it sometime in the next week or so. But that is positive movement, trying to keep that facility on an even keel. We did a detailed meter review. We had a company come in and disassemble and test that meter, because there's a lawsuit going, as you know, about our billing of water to Kingsbrook. If it moves forward, I'm not sure, but at this point, we wanted to make sure we had all the evidence that might be requested at the time of the case. So we did and it was working exactly to standard. Thursday, May 21st, we approved, I ran it by Don, the fire chief, and we have approved the Girl Scouts to do a flag burning in our park on May 21st at 6 p.m. So any old flags that you have, you can get them to them if you'd like to have them properly destroyed. And then today, the DPW risked life and limb to capture a wild raccoon that was torturing the June Drive lift station area. Actually, it was out in the neighborhood in a drain, and it clearly was ill or something, and they ended up corralling it into a dog pen and providing it to a resident that wanted to take it for care. So it's been being chased around that area all day. Then DPW arrived. They were able to do it quickly, get it closed in, and so nobody was exposed or attempted to touch it and so on. So we got it taken care of before the end of the day. That's my list. Any questions? All right.
Clerk Treasurer Lister.
I have nothing to share unless anyone has questions.
Councilmember Glasser.
Took care of mine for me, thank you.
Councilmember Feldman.
Good.
Councilmember Schneider.
This time.
President Pro Tem Lee.
I always have to say, I guess. First off, it is Public Service Appreciation Week. So I just wanted to take a minute and express my appreciation for our dedicated village staff. A lot of what they do goes unnoticed or unappreciated. it's not an easy job trying to run an entire village and try and keep everybody happy at the same time. So I just want to say thank you for that. Also to my fellow council members, this is also public service that we do here. Also not an easy job, and takes us away from family and friends and other things that we have to do from time to time. So just want to appreciate that you take time out to do that, and want to thank you for that. I see some township members out there. Thank you too. Not an easy job. I think we all can appreciate that. So thank you for doing that. Some park related events. We did have our Earth Day cleanup in conjunction with the DDA. At the park, we planted about 30 tree and shrub seedlings. So if you happen to be walking through the park and you see these weird little cages, there's a baby tree inside it. We have to put them inside those to keep them protected from the deer and bunnies that are in the park. And President Dyke got to experience that with me as I was setting up the cages. We had a whole herd of 10, 12 deer come by, and they were definitely interested in the baby trees. So if you happen to be strolling by and see them knocked over, just let me know or set it back up. That'd be great. On park board news, we're tentatively planning a budget workshop on May 14th to go over next year's budget and what we plan to do at the park. So that's going to be an important meeting for us to put together our numbers and present both to Village Council and Township Board what our plans are for next year and how much they might cost. So I expect that we will have that hopefully in time for our budget meetings coming up. And I think that's about it.
Councilmember Powell.
I'm all set.
Councilmember Miller.
Yes, in the past, I was made aware of that there's supposed to be a remuneration committee, and it's supposed to be every 5 years, and the last time it was done was 2005, according to what I was told. I talked to some of my neighbors, and I had one turn in the paperwork, and a second one is supposed to. I'm one of 7. I don't know why some of the other council members can't talk to some village members to get them to volunteer. We need 5 total. It hasn't been done since 2005, and I think it's time. However, whatever they come up with, it still needs to be done. That's all.
It's a fair challenge.
We need to go into closed session to discuss the purchase of real property. Do we have a motion for that?
I'll make the motion that council enter into closed session pursuant to Section 8D of the Open Meetings Act, MCL 15.268D, to discuss the purchase of real property.
Support.
Motion by Councilmember Schneider, supported by our President Pro Tem Steffler to move into closed session as stated on the record. Roll call.
Sorry, caught me off guard. Schneider,
Aye.
Steffler,
Aye.
Feldman,
Aye.
Glasser,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
and Powell.
Aye.
Dyke.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you everybody for attending tonight. If you're a student and didn't get your agenda signed, you can come up and get it signed. Yeah.
Welcome.
Those students do not.
They said, "Well, me too, buddy."